Great. Some GMs in here. Good stuff. All right. Looks like we're live. Looks like we're ready to go. So my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. It is May 19th, 2021. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got today. Looking at our SPY. So the thesis yesterday on the SPY was that we were coming off of an inside day in the markets. We had a bit of indecision, and we were really just waiting for a little bit of confirmation to showcase whether we wanted to move through known resistance, roughly this consolidation area in the past. We were trying to see if the market had enough strength to get through this area. And obviously we were looking at different sectors to see if that strength was going to show itself in one form or another. And in the opposite case, if we broke bearish, we were going to essentially state that this resistance held, and we were looking at multiple sectors dropping roughly at the same time, which eventually did show itself into the afternoon. So if we look at a short-term time frame, we see that the SPY, for the most part, was holding in this area, forming sort of a pennant. And the thing about a pennant is it can break in pretty much either direction, but you also want to note where you are when the pennant forms and sort of who has the hometown advantage. So far, the SPY has been putting in some topping action. We've been unable to get above certain key levels, and this consolidation as bears and bulls were fighting led to the eventual breakdown, and that has had quite a bit of follow through in the pre-market so far. What is notable about this is for one of the first times in quite a while, we're seeing multiple sectors taking I would say the escalator down at the same time. So we saw financials showcasing weakness and forming the lower high scenario inside of the daily uptrend. Excuse me. We did break bearish, and we broke through the previous day close. So overall, this was facilitating some of the weakness in the SPY. XLI, same idea. We were looking to see if this inside doji was going to break bullish or bearish. It ended up breaking bearish, and we see follow through with the fact that it closed near the low and that it was basically moving through previous areas of support. XLE, we've been looking at this to basically hold and start to form the potential for a cup and handle to break some of these previous swing highs. So far, it's been a pretty volatile attempt in this area. And this breakdown here, once again, most of this did occur throughout the entire session. So we were seeing energy be weak throughout most of the day. Whereas financials, most of the selling occurred near the end of the session. And industrials, I would say a slow fade most of the day, but a large sell-off near the close. So in those scenarios, we're asking, does anything else show strength? Is anything going to assist us if everything else is selling? And what we saw is that technology did not assist us. It is continuing to be a weak sector, getting weaker. We have not seen a ton of follow through on our bounces. And so far, the selling is sort of perpetuating itself in multiple areas of technology. Think things like semiconductors, big tech, and even to some degree, consumer staples, which is a large component of the NASDAQ, which also saw selling yesterday. So all of our major sectors are showing weakness. We're not getting a ton of help from the previous strong sectors that have held up the SPY. Healthcare was probably the only close to decent sector yesterday, but definitely not a strong sector overall. We're just seeing some of that selling pressure come into multiple areas of the market. And healthcare did not see a ton of rotation to the upside. So healthcare was holding, but not necessarily strong. And with everything else weak, we did see a pretty significant drop yesterday afternoon that leads into today's gap down. Now, from this point, we also want to see, are there other risk factors starting to build? I would say that volatility did see a sharp increase into the close, and this was seen roughly when the pennant structure on the SPY started to break down. So intraday, we were looking at volatility. We were seeing a little bit of a slow increase, and then that really started to spike into the close. So it does appear that there is a bid in volatility. And if we're looking at it just from a technical perspective, we are starting to form the potential for higher lows. And this recent spike high is sort of a short-term concern in the fact that the market did react quite strongly when we got this volatility increase. We're looking at things like the dollar. So far, I would say the dollar hasn't had a sharp increase, but we definitely want to watch it today. If all of our major index products are down and the selling does continue, is there a big rush to the dollar? And given that we're watching the dollar, we want to see if the metals react strongly to a reaction in the dollar. Things like gold, which are starting to really get into some, I would say, mid-term resistance levels. We've seen a lot of follow through so far. People who are interested in taking profit should be looking at this area as a place of interest. And then ultimately, on a larger term time frame, we look at our weekly, we've made quite a significant move through this channel. A pullback could be seen if the market does experience a short-term fear-based correction with things like the dollar starting to spike. We haven't seen it yet, but we do want to be prepared for it. Same idea with silver. We see silver is starting to short-term show some topping action. We're seeing a little bit of follow through today. Ultimately, if you're long any of these metals, depending on your time frame, you should be either protecting your unrealized or potentially profiting on a shorter term trade, which has been quite successful to this point. And finally, things like crude and natural gas, seeing some of that selling pressure as well. Crude has yet to really get over this downtrend line, so the compression of price continues. Ultimately, we haven't lost our short-term trend, but we also haven't broken out. So we anticipated some compression in this area. So far, we've gotten it. It's a lot of ping pong action. Until we get some clear breakout or breakdown signals, I would say just kind of keep on holds and watch this area. Obviously, if the energy sector does sell off, we may see a bit of correlation with crude, seeing some of that, that downside momentum. And then, of course, natural gas, looking so far like a false breakout, but we are coming back into our consolidation range. So maybe not enough energy to get out of this area, and ultimately want to remain cognizant that we did spend a lot of time here, and so far we've just failed to really launch from this point. So pull back to the low end of the range is likely because we do have a failed range expansion. So markets are showing a lot of potential for selling today. We certainly want to allow the market to do what it needs to do to the downside and be patient for opportunities in both directions. If we look at the cues, we see things like our 4-hour trend. We know that this trend line had a great reaction so far, but we also are looking at a market that is basically waterfalling back to the trend line. So we certainly want to be careful in this spot, but if we get the right signals and we get the right market participants stepping back into a long, we can see once again potentially another follow-through bounce, and ultimately this downtrend, we could see that same compression that we're seeing in things like crude, where we're starting to form these higher highs, but we're also getting lower, excuse me, sorry. We're forming these higher lows, but we're also forming these lower highs. So this scenario could easily play itself out, but we need the right signals and the right volume characteristics every time we get to these areas of interest. If we do not, the breakdown or breakout is the more likely scenario, and so far the bulls are not really proving it to us. So the bears do have control in the short term. Same idea with IWM. We saw this downtrend react quite strongly. We're seeing resistance at the 200 period moving average on the 4-hour chart. This has been an area that has showcased itself quite a bit in this market. We've seen either chop or rejection of these dynamic moving average support and resistances in the past. And you know, the selling here is actually quite tame relative to the QQQ and the SPY. We actually haven't even come back to nearly the same levels as we saw on the first bounce attempt. So IWM is interesting in that this bounce had quite a bit of follow through, but we also are aware that our daily structure is looking more and more like distribution, and we want to be really careful if we ever see a breakthrough of this key trend line. So markets are offering a lot of nice areas to consider getting in, getting out. Very trade mindset right now because there is a lot of indecision. Long term, I would say we want some more clear definition if we're looking to get back into this market long. But as a trader, you're seeing these reactions, and you know that as a short-term trader, you're trying to find those key targets and sort of extract the entirety of the move. You want to look at trends, get the trend line bounces, look at resistances, look for where you expect more selling pressure to come back in, take your profit, call it a great trade, move on. Otherwise, you're staying in a market that is very willing to flush people out. There's a lot of volatility, and that volatility can lead to the expansion of the range that we're trading in. That expansion ultimately can knock you out as a trader if your stop losses are in spots that people are actually looking to knock traders out. So always keep that in mind. We're in a pretty volatile session so far, and the volatility has not backed down. So we want to remember some of our rules about volatility. As a trader, sometimes you can actually expand your stop loss range, take smaller size, and on the right signals, obviously, get into a trade and expect more follow through than you normally would. And that's both in the bullish and the bearish directions. Obviously, this market showing some weakness today, so maybe more in the bearish camp. All right, so now the thing that's on pretty much everybody's watch list and what everybody is watching occur is Bitcoin. So whether we use the futures chart or whether we use just a simple BTC USD comparison chart, which I'll bring over here. We are seeing the Bitcoin distribution play itself out as we discussed yesterday. So for those who were on yesterday's session, we talked very briefly about Wyckoff distribution and the fact that this market was showing all of the key signs of that phase 1 through 4 distribution, which leads to phase 5, which typically is the breakdown of this area. We see things like preliminary supply, reactions, buying climaxes and tests. Somewhere in this area is our buying climax and then an upper test. We see falling back into this trading range and then the formation of our lower high, which can facilitate the change in the overall trend. Now, throughout this period, there are going to be some very volatile reactions. If we look at what just occurred in the past, call it 20 to 30 minutes, Bitcoin lost an area of support. This area of support was pretty well defined as we had a strong reaction here on high volume. We had a test of that area showing the fact that maybe there's a double bottom. You could see the reaction actually brought us outside of the previous high that was made on the first reaction. We started to potentially trend, and then we failed. We fell back into our range. Now, at this point, as a bull, you are looking at this and saying, this is your support area. If you are not in a long trade at this point, or if you are and you're somewhere in this range, your stop loss is going to have to be somewhere below this key support. Otherwise, you're not really trading. You're actually at risk of a sell-off. But overall, this range was showing weakness. We saw a double bottom that failed to expand the range and fell all the way back down. So this final test, this final sort of last gasp, and a very low volume pullback before falling through the range. This volatility is likely to be expected in the next day or two, as we are starting to fall into ranges that we have not seen in Bitcoin in multiple months. We pull it back to a weekly. We can see that Bitcoin has not been back into this range ever since the end of January. I've gone ahead and marked the high and low of a high volume area in this range. And that was the low of this range in total, along with the spike high on volume that was able to break the downtrend. So as we are entering this range, there is likely going to be more battling of bulls and bears trying to decide whether they want to enter this range and essentially use it as a new trading area, or is this just an upper test, you know, falling to the top end of the range, getting pretty volatile as we get into it. But so far we have put in some pretty significant capitulation at this time. We've also seen a pretty far extension away from some of our dynamic support, and now these are going to be resistance points. Things like the 923 to 26 as a general key support area now turn resistance. And overall, we've lost all of our main supports during the distribution phase. So returns to test these areas can be seen. It does not mean that overall this is the low in Bitcoin. It just means that in the short term, there was a battle. The bulls lost the battle in this upper range. And so far, this capitulation has held. We see a large waterfall, a return, and now bulls are actually trying to get back into this trading range. It's a very significant reaction that we've seen. And I would say that today, Bitcoin is actually one of my main watches simply because of this reaction. There was a couple trades taken in pre-market so far. I would say that this is a pretty aggressive entry, but so far so good. This is held, and we're getting back into this 38K rough, 38.5K rough area of support, which is now resistance. Bulls have to prove it to us. They have to get back into this trading range, and then they have to come and test the upper areas of this range, which, keep in mind, it is noted by this swing high. This was a failed range expansion, and it is a smaller trading range that is sitting above. So we have two ranges to consider, and we have our capitulation spike down. So as we get into today, obviously there's going to be some volatility across multiple markets. We've looked at Bitcoin. I would say that most of the crypto market is likely to respond in kind, as a lot of these things are starting to correlate. You can see that Ethereum had a similar spike down into a capitulation bounce move. Does not mean that this is the low. It just means that it is the low in the short term, and it is a significant low that we want to mark and watch moving forward. I would say the same thing about a lot of other coins. We don't need to look at all of them at this time. And as we get into our trading day, we want to be aware that this market is shaky at best. Things are really starting to show themselves as unable to hold support. We're seeing lots of multiple sectors selling at the same time. Definitely not a good sign if you're overall looking for long entries. Certain things need to hold in place in order for the market to recover itself. And when we look at some of those key sectors, we've talked about how extended they are in certain weekly timeframes. So just remember that this selling could continue if everything is going in the same direction at the same time. With financials where they are, with industrials where they are, a lot of our key sectors do not look healthy in the short term. With tech the way it is, this needs to be basically rotated back into for the SPY to hold. We have not seen that yet. We have not seen that in this consumer discretionaries, still selling, holding the weekly 20 period, but so far no follow through. And when we look at, trying to think what the last piece of the conversation is, but basically, I would say as a day trader, stay cognizant of what is your thesis for looking at longs. If you want to take an aggressive long entry, which I know a lot of traders are interested in when it comes to the risk reward parameters that the aggressive setups offer, you need certain things to be in place. You need either everything changing direction at the same time, or if you're focused in a specific area, you really want to see sort of a full change of the tone in that sector and look at a candidate that maybe is holding or is just relatively strong compared to the market. You want to think like something that is holding above VWAP or holding a certain trading range while the market is selling off. You can get some really nice entries or ads if the market bounces and that particular stock or candidate that you're trading is relatively strong. It'll sort of have follow through. We actually saw that a bit yesterday with Tesla, and I know a few people are interested in looking at Tesla. Some of the news that was coming out was sort of negative towards the position of Tesla. We saw Michael Burry discuss that he does have a net short position in Tesla. That has been the case since, I believe, Q1 of 2021. But intraday, as we look at the 5-minute on Tesla, Tesla had a fairly strong day throughout the entire morning session. And that was due to the fact that some of the position of where Tesla is on the daily chart is relative support for the short term. And we also saw that Tesla was moving higher as the market was selling off in the morning inside of that pennant structure. So our daily perspective here is that Tesla is trying to hold this 200 period moving support. It's not doing a very good job at it so far. Tesla has also lost our daily uptrend. And if we really zoom back in time, the 200 period daily moving average has acted as a key support level in the past. This is probably one of the best areas that led to the massive bull run of 2020 and 2021. Now, at this time, it's interesting to us that we're back here, but so far the reaction is not the same. The structure is not the same. And so far, Tesla is losing this short-term battle with the fact that we cannot get out of this range. This is a multi-day range that we've set on Tesla. Roughly 555 to 560, and then the upper spike, which we got yesterday, about 595. So always be thinking about these ideas. Think about what your candidate is doing in a weak market. Is it relatively weaker than the overall market? Is it showing some relative strength? If the market recovers, finds sort of bounce days, or just finds its bottom, your candidate might actually have a better performance overall in those scenarios. And then conversely, if a particular stock candidate is weak, look to see on a weak market that candidate actually outperform to the downside. You always want to sort of have a short watch list of what are some opportunities you can take advantage of no matter what the overall market is doing on that day. So with that said, I think that's pretty much all I've got for today. It's definitely going to be an interesting and volatile day, so keep your hands and feet inside of the vehicle at all times, put on your helmet, and prepare yourself for a trading session that is likely going to persist in the next couple of days. So thank you. See you tomorrow.
All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, brother. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Better than this market, that is for sure. And if we recap the stuff from yesterday,
Better than Bitcoin, huh?
oh yes, way better than Bitcoin. What a chat fest it was, guys. Let's take a look at some of the stuff we had on our list yesterday, starting with AMC. That's our daily. Let's get into our 5 minutes to see how things went there. We are looking at 518 right in here, guys. Decent pre-market activity, but at the market open, just really all over the place. I mean, this stock, like
Carlos,
many, yeah.
we've got. I think it's particular. I don't know if it's me as well, but
Okay.
your mic is a little funky. At least in the room. I don't know about YouTube.
Okay, let's double check. Um,
Yep, YouTube's fine.
Oh, you just fine. All right, so let's just reset the room real quick. We'll be right back, guys, over in our chat room. Just 1 second here
I'm
while
gonna
we
reset
reset
the
this.
audio bridge over here.
Okay, perfect. All right, just bear with us over on YouTube. We'll be with you shortly. All right, we are back in the chat room. Let me share my screen with the members here, and then we'll see if hopefully that is any better. All right, hopefully that sounds a little better, guys. I just want to get a confirmation.
All right, good deal.
Excellent, much better. Perfect, perfect. Sometimes needs a little love, a little, a little reset there makes everything work just fine. All right, here we go, guys. AMC, just a pure chop yesterday. Just nothing to see here. Going down to Walmart, same situation, a little bit better here. Got a little bit of a drop, but again, this is the song and dance the entire day yesterday. Just a lot of chop, not a whole lot of continuation. Macy's was brutal as well. Let's take a look here at the market open. Pre-market was great. We thought a lot of stock in the pre-market looked amazing. Come the market open, it's just complete madness here. Macy's was the same thing, guys. You get one initial drop here that was very nice. You had to be quick on this one, and then from there, guys, just pure chop. Heading down to towards AT&T. AT&T actually, out of a lot of the stocks that we had, was actually not that bad. Comparing them to how choppy things were, right? You did get a beautiful drop here, beautiful continuation, although very difficult to get in a trade like this after such a move, right? It's pretty extended towards the downside. Does give you a little bit of a bounce here, does find support, breaks above the VWAP. This was real nice here on AT&T. Now, you got to take it for what it is, right? 29.31. You're only getting about 40 cents on this huge move here. It looks like it's a lot, but it's really not a whole lot, and that's okay with AT&T. They don't move a whole bunch. Here's Uber. Again, same situation, guys. Just madness yesterday with how choppy things were. Here's BIDU. BIDU's another one that also was a little bit of a sell-off right at the market open. Great continuation and then some. And then from there, we come into this choppy area. But again, not a whole lot that looked great, guys. FSR was one that I had on deck as well. This one was actually decent. It was actually, did give a nice continuation. The issue with this one was the price action and the volume. It just wasn't great. But it did give you a nice little pop here continuation yesterday. One that we know can trade very well, so we kept it on deck. So not a whole lot to be happy about yesterday as far as the way these stocks traded. Norm, what do we have going on as far as the SPY? Anything exciting happening today?
Oh, it's exciting. We're down 1.1% on the SPY, 1.5% on the Qs. Pretty weak looking this morning. Bitcoin tanking today. down below 40,000 right now, sitting just under 38,000. And the big thing today are the FOMC minutes that'll come out at 2 p.m. Eastern. That will be 2 weeks after they have an FOMC meeting. They release their minutes from it, their talking points and so forth. So everybody's concerned about inflation. That's part of what's bringing this down, part of concern that the Fed will not act fast enough, that they'll then have to slam on the brakes by raising interest rates and other measures. So that's what's going on. Those minutes, I don't want to be in a position at that time. And I anticipate we'll probably have some moves this morning and then slow down as we get to that point of the day.
Yeah, I agree 100%, guys. All right, let's get to it, guys. Let's take a look at our gappers list, which is, again, a lot of red in the screen this morning, as you can see here. Only a couple in the green right now. We have Target, TGT. This one is up 2.8 with 415,000 shares traded. Again, not the best intraday trading stock, but they must have a earnings norm or something going on this morning.
Yes, Target had earnings. They appear to be now we have a partner in crime that is on the green side of the gappers list. Yeah, they had earnings this morning, pretty blowout numbers. They're currently on their conference call, I believe, as well. So we'll see.
All right, we'll see how that plays out here, guys. Let's go ahead and make some rows for our watch list this morning, and I'm going to go ahead and add Target to our list. Only two in the green this morning. The other one is TCOM here, and they're not looking so great as far as pre-market action and volume. They're up 2.1, 103,000 shares traded, but again, does not seem like it trades well. I'm not sure if I'm confusing this with anything else, but just looking at the numbers here, guys, does not seem like a great intraday trading stock. So let's put it on. Is it foreign? It's not foreign, right? Is this what is this?
Well, it's Chinese.
Chinese. Okay. All right. So yeah. Oh, trip.com. I remember this. Yeah. We've seen this before in our watch list. So it doesn't trade well, guys, from what I remember. So I'm going to keep it off my list. I hope that in this gapping down list here, we can find something a lot better. Let's head down to Mara this morning. They are definitely in play. Again, guys, down 13.4. This stock is just keeps plummeting here. 1 million shares traded so far, definitely in play this morning. Riot is good as well, guys. You can pick either one of these. They all got great volume. They all got a great pre-market action, and they have an amazing daily, especially Mara, guys. Just look at the drop we're getting here. Has not been able to hold any of these levels, right? We have a big one right on here, 29. We have another one here. You can see it's a little bit crazy, but you can see how it has not been able to hold any of these support levels. So down again 13%. We'll keep an eye on that one. You can keep Riot as a possible. It is also in play, guys. 981,000 shares traded. Here's YSG. This one down 10%, 155,000 shares traded. Does not get a whole lot of volume. If you look down here, here's your 5.1 million shares traded per day, and you can see rarely getting above that. Got a couple of days to have a little bit of a run here. Their pre-market action is not great. You do have this one trade here for 62,000. That's almost half of what is traded so far this morning. So again, I'm going to skip on it because of that right now. We can always come back to it if it does get better. Here is CAN, another Bitcoin play. This one tends to not get as much volume as the other two, Mara and Riot. So I'm going to keep this one off. These two are enough for our list today for Bitcoin opportunities. PL this morning, they are not looking good, guys. Just look at the price action, very, very choppy. In the pre-market, you're not getting anything there. They're down 7.3, but just look at this daily. They barely get any volume, so I'm concerned with how that price action is going to be at the market open. So we'll skip on this one. This is Purple Innovations. I'm not sure what that is, but they're not looking too good as far as the daily. Coin is definitely in play, guys. Great pre-market activity, not looking good, guys. Very concerning as they continue to just lose a great area of support here. We saw that a couple of days ago, and now we're dropping another 6.1. So coin is in play. We do have shares for short somehow. I'm not sure how many though. Let's check. Interactive Brokers is giving us, what do we have here? 3.4
Got a few.
Got
is that enough for you?
Bad. That's okay. I think I'll probably take, maybe 1.2. I'll give you the rest. But yeah, that's not bad. That's actually a lot. So that's pretty good. Again, just be very careful, guys. Although you can short this, I mean, who knows? You could tell too, there are some restrictions on here. Your broker tends to do this when there is, if you see that, there is some kind of, they want you to protect your account, but you see this on MVIS, on any type of low flow stocks that are very volatile. I think AMC has this too. I'm interested what AMC has on there, and that's just your broker, trying to protect themselves and your account as well. You can see here they also have some restrictions as well. So if you didn't know that, that's where you can find that. Here is so coin is good, guys, in play. VIPS, this one this morning, they are down 5.51 million shares traded, but this pre-market action does not look interesting at all right now. I do like the daily more than anything. You're sitting at this slightly below this area of consolidation. This could be nice for a run towards the bottom here. We've seen this in the past play out really nice when we had this this move over here. So with the Viacom's, another telecommunications company, we could put it on here. Let's see what comes out of that. We'll take a closer look at it in a second. BTU, I'm assuming this is a Bitcoin. Or no, it's energy actually. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's something else. It's energy. Doesn't look good though. We are down 5.2, only 114,000 shares traded. I'm not sure how great this trades, so I'm going to just keep it off the list today. Here's GEVO. GEVO we looked at in the past plenty of times. Pre-market action down 5.1. Not an interesting intraday pre-market action, but an interesting daily though. You are hitting some of these levels at 7 and coming back down here, so that's interesting, but not great though. Hopefully you can find something better. SKLZ this morning also down 4.7, not the best pre-market action. Daily's okay. TLRY. This pre-market looks good here, guys. Look at this, got a nice little movement here in the pre-market. 288,000, down 4.8. Okay, daily. This could be interesting. TLRY, definitely adding that one to the list. FCX here, they are down 4.6. Pre-market action looks good. I like the daily here because you're kind of getting not clean, but kind of a little bit of a double top here, right? A little bit area of resistance. You do have a nice support that you're slamming up against now. After we had this nice gap up, right? We broke out of this area of resistance here. So this could be interesting if we start losing that. You can see in the pre-market right now, we're trying to hold this 41.50. That could be nice if we are not able to. We could probably run towards the next level, which could be all the way down here at around 40. So that could be interesting. Next, we have NNDM. I don't like this one as much. Pre-market action is not all that great. We'll skip on it. AMC has definitely been in play, guys. We know that. Just be very, very, very careful with this stock. We do have shares for sure on it. It is in play. It was so choppy yesterday with so many of the other stocks. We'll have to see. Today's a day where you have to be very, very patient and cautious, because when you had a day as choppy as yesterday, when you have the market trading the way it is, things are not normally going to run. You're not going to get continuation, and that's what happened yesterday. So although you got all your signals, everything looked good for a possible breakout, you got in the trade, and it just went sideways on you, a couple of times. It's frustrating. So today you got to be very, very careful to see what kind of market we're going to get here. But AMC definitely in play. Maybe we're done trying to break out of this 1450. It struggled quite a bit. Yesterday kind of popped above it, but now we're slamming back down. So that could be interesting. Here is QS. QS at the moment, they are up, down 4.1, 115,000 shares traded. At the moment, the daily looking okay. But the pre-market not looking great at all. So we'll skip on that one. PLTR at the moment. What do we have here? Hold on a second, guys. PLTR at the moment. What do we have here? All right, PLTR could be a hit or miss, guys. Right now, they are down 4%, 757,000 shares traded. I don't like the way it looks. I'm not sure about it. DKNG here. DKNG is good. I like DKNG at the moment. Their pre-market action not great, and we're not getting a lot of great pre-market action, guys. But here on the daily, you can see a little bit of an area of support happening here. So we'll see if this can hold. Maybe a possible for now on DKNG. So we'll throw that on. The DKNG down 3.8 this morning. DKNG, by the way, taking a nice hit over the last couple of weeks, guys. Look at this thing at 72, now back at 42 there. Guys, the list goes on and on. We will not be able to get through all of this here. As I'm looking at this, I'm like, wait a minute, where's the end? I didn't realize how long it was until I started looking down saying, wait a minute.
It's just grown and grown since we've been sitting here as well.
We're not even halfway on the scroll bar here. Yeah. All right, so we're going to stop there. Norm, anything you like out of this massive red list we have?
I mean, you could just throw a dart and pick something in play almost this morning. So I'll throw it to the room, see if our resources out there, everybody here has anything good.
Okay, excellent. Let's go here in our chat room, guys. Let's start with Elkin. You're giving us AMD. Looks interesting for a possible break. Let's take a look. Yeah, AMD does look good, guys. Decent volume. They're down 2% this morning. I do like how they're slamming down against this area of support here after this gap down. And again, we'll have to also keep an eye on the overall market, guys, because although we're down today, that could change very quickly. We've seen it before when the market starts off like this, finds a bottom and then just takes off, right? And takes everything else with it. That is only down because of the market and not because of any individual catalyst, right? So AMD is good. Let's look at Plug this morning. Plug at the moment, we're down 2.8, decent volume. Yeah, it's okay. It's a lot of them that just look, very similar this morning, but I do like Plug. I like the way they trade. So we'll definitely add that to the list. Heading down here, Futu. What is Futu doing? Futu is not doing much today. Futu, let's look at the pre-market action. Actually, no, I take that back. They are doing a whole lot. Here's the pre-market action, 1 million shares traded. I was looking at the daily. Didn't look like it was a whole lot going on there, but they're taking a bit of a hit here. Yeah, so Futu is in play, guys. Just be careful with that one. Definitely moving nicely towards the downside this morning. What else do we have? Plug, NCLH. Let's take a look at NCLH. What is the travel companies doing here? Typed it wrong. NCLH. What do we have? Yes, it's okay. I don't think they're really in play right now. Their pre-market action is pretty quiet at the moment. Their daily looks a little bit interesting. If the market's going to sell off, maybe they'll start doing some of that. But it's interesting. Some of these travel companies, we were looking at them earlier. American Airlines, they're actually going the opposite way of the market. So it's interesting on what's happening there. Obviously, things are opening up. People are getting vaccinated. These companies that have been killed over the pandemic, obviously, are trying to come back here. I'm seeing a lot more planes in the skies here, by the way. So they're getting back on track here, but they're not slamming down with a lot of the stuff that the market is taking down. So it could be interesting, but I am not seeing anything that's putting them in play at the moment. Here's Apple. Apple's always a good one to watch, although yesterday it was madness. But here's Apple, guys, down 1.3 with 1 million shares traded. I always like watching Apple, especially with the way the market is trading, so we'll throw that on there as well. Here is Tesla this morning. Tesla right now. Tesla looks real good, guys. Tesla looks nice. It's just slamming, again, continues to slam against this area of support right on there, 558. Yeah, this is good. Actually, I like Tesla a lot. Don't worry, we'll make this list a lot shorter. Some on here that could be more of a possible today. AT&T. What do we have here? AT&T, they are down 1.4. Again, they traded probably the cleanest yesterday. I'm not sure how clean they'll be today. I hope that there's something better than AT&T for our list.
We're getting 3 days. Yeah, we're getting 3 days past the catalyst on that. I hesitate putting that on my list.
I would too.
Despite having a couple of shockingly good days for AT&T.
Yeah, it's shockingly this one here, and even yesterday was okay, given what else we had on deck, right? But yeah, I'm not expecting this to be great today. Tesla is good, guys. I do like that one. Let's do a few more here. BNGO, what do we have here? BNGO at the moment, it's okay. It could be something, but right now it's not looking all that great. Let's look at AMC. Do we have AMC? Yeah, we have AMC already. Let's take a look at CCL. CCL has a little bit of volume, not great, guys. Again, I just don't think these are in play right now. And we've seen CCL in play. The volume they get, you're sitting here at a 1 million shares traded by this time now. So we're not quite seeing that there this morning. All right, let's take a few over from YouTube, guys. JD this morning. We had it on our list yesterday. I think I took it off and we kept BIDU. Was it the day before? I don't recall. But right now they're gapping down 2.4. Pre-market action is a little bit all over the place. We had a couple of really good days here on JD. You can see how nice this was trading. The last few have not been great. Pre-market action, though, is very active. So I'll give it that. But let's take a look to see where that's going to take us in the next couple of minutes. XOM, I don't really trade this one, guys. It could be very choppy at times. The pre-market action is not clean. So I really keep this ExxonMobil, I believe. I keep it off my list for the most part. Unless they have some kind of huge catalyst, I'm not really watching these. It looks like they're trying to lose some of the support and resistance level right on here. So that does look interesting on the daily. But just the intraday action on this one could be could be crappy at times. Neo's is moving here, 825,000 shares traded. They are down 2.8 this morning. Could be interesting. Yeah, we'll add Neo on here. These are stocks that we traded before in the past that can get great volume, that can be very explosive. Here is a GameStop. GameStop is pretty much dead right now. Not much going on, just 50,000 shares traded. We'll take a look at X this morning. Oh, I like X this morning. I like X every morning, but today I really like it this morning. This morning, actually, you actually got something going on. I know I'm gonna get crap for that in the chat room. Carlos, why you like X so much? Well, this one here could be nice if we can get a drop here. 302,000 shares traded, and you got a couple of very clean levels here you can get to. Here's one right there. There's one right over here. So yeah, this looks good. I'm gonna add it. We'll take a second look at it. Neo, we have BIDU for a second day here. Let's take a look. BIDU. What is going on with BIDU? Not great pre-market action. Daily does look interesting, guys. We broke out of this here. Remember, this thing was in play when we gapped up. Nice, beautiful gap. Slam back down. What is it going to do here? It could be a hit or miss, but the volume is not there right now. It can go either way in this situation, right? You do have a great area of support on here. We'll have to see. But right now, the volume is extremely light for BIDU at the moment. All right, let's stop here, guys. Let's go to our community announcements. We'll come back and fine-tune this large list.
All right, guys. Last night's webinar should be posted. I believe I saw an email earlier that is up. So parts 1 and 2 up. Next week, Thor on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. He's going to be talking about using VPA and ranges to avoid getting chopped up in choppy price action. Then tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, you've got Nada talking about let the storms of emotion pass without drowning you. Essential emotional intelligence tool in trading is to not let the emotions get the best of you. Next week, Dr. Katz Town Hall, take 2 traders from the room and have a little bit of a discussion with them. Everybody can look on. We've had some great feedback on that format. All right, remember trade of the day, trade of the week. If you want to participate in this, take a screenshot of your best trade of the day. It should obviously have entries and exits so we can see what the trade was, and then add any commentary you can to describe the trade. Post it on Twitter, tag at Bearable Traders, at Mike B_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use the hashtags BBT family, day trading and stock market. Pick a winner for each day that'll be announced in the closing bell show, which is in the room and also on Twitter. Then we'll announce on Twitter for the week on Monday, the trade of the week. Excuse me. If you're watching on YouTube and haven't been in the chat, you can use the promo code PreMarket24 to get a discount off the intro membership. That is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room. Does not auto renew or turn into any other kind of membership. Just ends after that, and you can decide if it's a good fit or not. Also, if you would like to become an elite member and get access to all the webinars we were just discussing, use the promo code Memorial40 to get a discount, 40% off the annual elite membership.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Norm. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's go through this list. Let's see what we're going to.
Bitcoin is under 33,000 right now, dude.
No way.
Yeah, pull up a chart.
Wow, that is insane.
Pound sign BTC.
Pound sign. Ooh, it's not liking that. What's going on here? Did I just hit?
You got to put it in your. Huh?
Wait, did I just do like a hockey thing or something here? I don't know. Okay, no, let me check my orders. Hold on a second. Okay, no orders. You got the little ding. I'm like, wait a minute. All right, so
yeah, put it in your market viewer or your watch list over there.
Yep, let's put it here. So pound BTC.
Yep. There you go.
Here we go. Ooh, wow. Oh, it's vicious. Man, oh man, oh man. That is not fun. Yeah, that is something, guys. Mara Riot definitely in play this morning. This is unbelievable. Hitting at 64 and now slamming down to 30. There's a lot of people that are not going to be happy today. If you're hopefully nobody here is one of them, and you have a game plan in place, your stop losses and everything, because holding through that is tough. All right, guys. Let's get to it. Let's look at our list here. TGT this morning, they are looking okay. They do have a catalyst, so we'll keep it on here. Next, we do have Mara. Oh, excuse me, Mara. So that's okay as well. I like the way this is going at the moment. Definitely in play, guys. Tons of volume, and things are just not looking good right now in this area. TLRY looks decent. We'll see what's going on there. FSC. I like the daily on this one. Pre-market action is okay, but I like the daily for a possible drop. AMC is interesting. They got some volume here. AMD I do like. All right, gotta take some stuff off. Plug is okay. Apple. Tesla. All right, we'll keep Tesla on here. Let's go back up here. You know what? I'm gonna move down TGT just because although they have a catalyst, I know that we can have something a little bit better than that. Hopefully. Oh, why would we do that? All right, if that happens to you guys, right? So what I did here, I hit symbol by mistake. Just come in here, right click, and you hit user define list if you're using Dash Trader Pro, and this will bring your list back to the way you had it, right? So here's Mara. Mara is good. TRY is good. FCX, I'm going to move down, guys, to a possible right here. FCX, I think the other ones that we have on deck look a little bit better. There's a whole lot to watch today, guys. So eyes on the scanners as well. Let's delete this here. AMC is good. AMD is decent. Plug starting to move here. Apple, Tesla. I know Tesla. Yeah, Plug is going to have to come down. Let's put Plug as a possible, guys. So let's make some room here, and we'll put Plug down over here. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Secondary list. Let's go through this. So we have Coin. I'm not going to trade Coin. It's definitely in play though, guys. Look at the drop you're getting here on Coin. But again, it's just that stock could be challenging at times, so I'll remove it. DKNG. I don't like DKNG today. Again, I think we've seen better. So we will get rid of this one out of our possibles. This Futu. This one here is looking good too, guys. It's moving well, JD. Let's get rid of JD for now. Target, we can keep on here. They do have a catalyst, so if they can get explosive, we can take a look at that. Plug is starting to move. Ooh, that's a good one too. X, man, everything is just moving down. Is the market, is Bitcoin taking everything down? Is that what's happening? Bitcoin's just deciding to drop everything here. It's all Elon Musk fall. That's what happens. The SPY's dropping, so everything's just going down, guys. So right now, everything's looking slightly better than what it would. Yeah, we'll leave these right now for now. We'll do levels for this and we'll see what's happening. Thor is giving us to look at SQ. Let's see what's going on there. SQ, I like SQ as well. Yeah, but Thor, I got to tell you, everything looks like this. Everything looks...
SQ is getting hammered because of Bitcoin. That's direct correlation there. Tesla, all these companies hold Bitcoin, deal with Bitcoin, are getting hammered, and SQ is one of them.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. Here we go, guys. Let's do some levels today. Let's do Mara. So Mara at the moment, low of the pre-market. If we can hold here, 1886. Let's throw a level there. Towards the top, guys, plenty of levels for the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. You do not need to add any more there. Let's look towards the downside if this thing does continue. At the moment, if we don't find any kind of support where we're sitting at now, the next level we have here, we got a couple. We have right on here, 1583. But slightly above that, we got a couple of days slamming up against 1734 as support right on this. You can see that. I know it's a little bit small on the screen, but right on there, 1734. Got some great support happening there, and then a nice little run. So let's keep an eye on that. Next, we're looking at TLRY. This one, now I'm looking at everything else. This doesn't look as good anymore, right? It's not really doing a whole lot. So let's get rid of that one. We'll get rid of that one. We can wait for that one to hit the scanners. AMC is on deck, also taking a hit. Is AMC holding Bitcoin stuff too? What's happening here? So AMC, low of the pre-market, 1313. We'll throw a level right on there. We're coming up against that level right now. Let's see if we can hold. On the daily though, guys, I mean, we had a very, very tough time getting above this 1415. We're kind of coming back down now. Let's see if this thing is going to slam down some more this morning. 1262 is the next level that we have. And then slightly above here, 1222, another level. Great area of resistance right on here and changing direction. So you definitely want to have that one on deck. So plenty of levels here, guys. You're pretty much covered right now around the price action this morning as we are slamming down against the low of the pre-market at 1313. Let's see if we're going to just run through that in a couple of seconds here. Here is AMD. AMD's daily is nice, guys. We're slamming against an area of support right on there. This was great support for about 3 days here. And then since then, we've just kind of been moving sideways and consolidating. So that's 727, I'm sorry, 7270. 7270 is a great level. I think the pre-market low might get to that now. We're going to go over here to the left and see if there's anything towards the bottom. Wow, we have not been down here in a very, very long time for AMD. Just look at the support that we're leaving here. This 75 area has been major support for AMD here. And we're testing that now. We're slightly below it by $3, but we're definitely testing leaving that support, as you can see there. The next one is going to be a gap up that we had back in July of last year. We had a nice gap up here, and the high of this gap up was a 71.47, the lower part, and then we gapped up all the way to 74.27, and we have not been back down here since today or yesterday, right? So pretty interesting on the price action there on AMD. Has been very strong, but seeing some weakness right now. Below that, just in case, we're going to have a flush type day, 69.71. Let's throw a level on there as well. Towards the top, guys, plenty of levels. You do not need to add anymore. You have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. You have your previous day close right on there as well. You're pretty much covered as far as levels on AMD. So I really like AMD right now, trading very well, some good volume, down 2.2. Let's see if we can get to that 72.70 and find any kind of support. Apple on the other hand, as things are dropping down, they're just holding here, moving sideways. So that is interesting. Right now, the low of the pre-market, we're looking at a 122.85. So we'll throw a level there on Apple. And the low from a few days ago is going to be down to 122.30. So we'll throw a level on there as well. If you look to the left here, guys, this daily looks a little bit messy, but if you draw a line right on here, you can see the area of support and resistance you're getting there. So you see plenty of resistance and support happening there. We're kind of doing that again right now, just finding some support right around these levels. Let's see if we're going to hold. If we were to lose these, again, in here, guys, look how choppy Apple has been, right? They get better after this breakout, but look how choppy it has been. We'll do the best to find some levels here with a lot of touches. I do see one on here, 121.16. That's a good one. Also down here, we do have 119, and all the way down here 116. So plenty of levels here as far as towards the downside on an Apple. You can see it clearly there. If I draw a line on that, you can see how many touches we're getting there, and obviously this big flush here coming down to 116 and gapping up nicely the following day. Tesla in play for sure. We did move that one up to our main list here this morning. Let's get rid of some levels towards the top, guys. You're pretty much cover, as you are with a lot of these stocks, right? Just chopping around here. At the moment, they are down 4.2, pre-market low 553.14, with some insane pre-market volume. That's not going to hold, as you can see. It's about to push right through it. The next level below that is going to be 539.97. So we have that there. And the way this thing is going, we might need another level below that one. So let's go to the left a little bit and find another level towards the bottom, just in case. We do have this level here, 525.62. So let's see. Let's see what happens here on this pre-market low that we're getting. Are we going to hold or squeeze or drop even further? SQ, guys, also dropping really nice here. You can see here towards the top, guys, again, as many stocks consolidating here, creating highs and lows for you. Previous day close towards the bottom right now, low of the pre-market. Can I put a line here and stop this bleeding? Let's see, 190.70. Let's see if we get a bounce there. But if you go to the left here, you do have an area of support happening right around here. There's a huge area of support. Look at this pop here. I don't think SQ is in control of things right now. I think just the market is going to dictate that a little bit for them. But let's see if they can hold that 190.70 there. Now, towards the bottom of that 190.75 that we did mark, right on here, not a great level, but it's decent, 184.60. Towards the bottom of that, we're not getting anything really clean. This is a very clean one right on here because you do have plenty of clear touches on there. You see that area of resistance there, some support happening here. In between here, in between these lines, there's not anything really that clean or that significant. 184.60, 170.63 are your good really levels for right now. All right, that is what we have, guys. Again, there is so much you can watch today. I'm sure even our secondary list is starting to look like a list that could be on your main list. I mean, there's just a whole lot going on here. That you have Plug, you have a Target, which has a catalyst this morning. FCX also starting to look a little bit better. Still hasn't lost this level, so still holding that. Futu here is very active this morning as well. Riot, obviously, we have Mara and Riot both on here, both with inventory for sure, so that is nice. VIPS, it's not looking great, and from what I remember, this stock could be crappy at times. I'm going to get rid of it. Neo definitely in play here this morning. We do have X as well moving around. X has a great level here of support resistance that we're kind of slamming up against. Volume in pre-market actually not great right now, but it could get better as the market continues here. All right, let's look at our moderators lineup. Let's see what we have going on here this morning. Let me resize this and bring this over. We can see what's taking place at the moment. Hold on a second, guys. Let me disable the video, or else you're going to see a weird mirror effect there. So there we go. And then let's bring this right over here. Did that work? Yes. Perfect. All right, guys, for those that have not been into our chat room over on YouTube or TradingView, this is what our chat room looks like. This right here will be exactly what you're seeing now. So I disabled this so you guys don't get this crazy mirror effect. But this is it here, guys. You do have our members down here. Here's our members chat room here, and you have our moderators notification tab right up here. Let's see what's going on today. So we have Eamon. He's looking at AMD, BIDU, DKNG, secondary list, BLDP, Open, and INO. Let's go back up here. We do have Tiffany's looking at Tesla, TGT, and Riot. IPOs, conflicting information on SQSP if they're going to open today or tomorrow. So we'll wait to see what happens there. Mike is looking at his break of high and break of low scanners. Right now, he does like TGT, SQ, and GameStop. Andrew, pullbacks on the stock markets are healthy, and remember, we are still up on the year to date. Crypto panic sell in the pre-market shows a lack of confidence in big money sector. It may not continue. Remember, risk management, and do not try to catch a bottom on the crypto sector. Capital management is key, guys. This is so important. We had a great webinar by Andrew, part 2 of the webinar yesterday, of the success webinar, and this was one of the things we were talking about risk management. Also, sticking to your stops, how critical it is to stick to your stops. And he showed us some good information on some of the things that he has done by not following those rules that he has learned a lot from. And we all been there where we don't follow our rules, we do things that hurt our account big time. So if you haven't catch part 2 of that, make sure you do that. The recording, I believe, is up already. So make sure you catch part 2. If you missed part 1, they're both in the education center. You can catch up on both of those. His list today: Tesla, Neo, Coin, Mara, AMC, and Futo. Peter is looking at AT&T, AMD, Riot, secondary list, Tesla, SQ, TGT, and Mara. Thor is looking at TGT, SQ, Apple, secondary list, AMD, Twitter, CCL, and Neo this morning. Brian is looking at Mara, SQ, Twitter, TGT for now. So, right, that is what we have, guys. We'll continue to see if anybody else throws another list there. Norm, anything that we're done pretty early today? Anything that we should cover? Any questions from the community that we can answer?
Yeah, let's just see if we have any questions out there. I mean, I would just say, and I walked out to get a drink real quick and came back, and I heard you talking about risk management, and that's going to be key today.
Yeah.
Be careful catching knives, that's for sure, because
it can keep going, guys. It can keep going. We know it's going to come back. That's the thing, and that's probably what hurts us, right? We know it's going to come back. It always does, but timing is key. We've seen so many people that with big firms, right? There's a huge story for the guy in Canada. Was it oil or energy? I forgot what it was. But he was short or long, I can't remember. And he was right, but just not at the right time. He blew up his account in the process of waiting to be right. So again, just risk management. And the funny thing is, guys, you can get back in. You can stop out.
I believe you're talking about Nat Gas futures.
Was it
Brian
him?
Hunter, I believe.
Yes. Oh, man. So some people say, it's because I have a small account. It doesn't matter the size of your account. It really does not.
And he ended up being right.
He did.
Unfortunately, he was broke before he turned out to be right.
He would have crushed it. He would have crushed it. And the same thing could happen with the housing too. When this guy was, what's the other guy's name? I'm horrible with names, by the way, as you can see. He was right, and then timing worked, but a little bit more towards the upside, and he would have been crushed too. So Michael Burry, yeah. So again, it's just, guys, be very, very careful. Stick to your stops. Even if things are going to come back, you do not want to be trying to catch a knife and hold on to things that are just not going in your direction. You can get out, reassess, release that mental stress too, right? Because aside from that, it's stressful holding on to something and just waiting and waiting. The bandwidth that you're wasting on that move is just unbelievable. So you want to just release that, wait for the next opportunity, and take advantage of it. Okay, guys, any questions? I think we're pretty much good. We have 3 minutes left. Let's take a recap of what we have this morning. Maverick, guys, very, very active, down 18% as Bitcoin cannot find a bottom at the moment. AMC starting to move here nicely too. We got a couple of good levels on AMC here. It was so choppy yesterday. Let's see, a lot of stocks were very, very choppy yesterday. Hopefully we're not getting the same situation today. AMD here, guys, is looking decent. Apple is interesting. Apple's not doing a whole lot, which is pretty interesting as far as the market is dropping. It's just holding here. So that could be nice. If there is some kind of recovery type strength shown in the market, Apple could be a good one to kind of push up here. So be on the lookout for that if we start rallying towards the top here. You have these companies that probably have no business being down as they are right now, just the overall market dropping them down. And what happens is when the market decides to go up, some of these can kind of slingshot their way back to where they should be as far as price targets. So Tesla is good, taking a few hits here, and also SQ, both of them kind of dropping below this low of the pre-market that we put on there this morning. Brian is adding LPTH to his list. Seems to be one of the lower flow stocks, so be careful starting to get going here. Let's see what happens there. Right now, very light on volume as far as pre-market action goes. We'll see what it does there. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining the pre-market show over on YouTube and TradingView. We very, very much appreciate it. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. If it's your first time here, consider subscribing. We do this every day, Monday through Friday when the market is open. So we start at 8 a.m. with Engineering the Markets by Jared, then continue by myself and Norm with the pre-market prep. So hit that thumbs up. It really, really helps us out. We really appreciate it. And we're going to continue here in our chat room. Be very, very careful today, guys. Again, we saw how choppy it was. Yes, it was very rough. Today, things are moving. But again, do not chase. Do not get caught passing your stops, because you can see things will keep dropping on you. So sticking to your stops today is key.
That doesn't mean take the trade 50 times and get chopped to pieces.
Exactly. That rule of stopping 3 times, if you get stopped out 3 times in the same ticker, you got to stop and take a break, walk away, do whatever you have to do. But something is not working right now. Just stop there and take a break. John, buzzer beater, coming in with his list: TGT, Coin, and Tesla for him. Take care, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.